Hey guys, so I'm going to be showcasing a new tutorial today, and this is looking at using the lookat command or the lookat bit of functionality in Unity so you can get certain objects to be able to follow you around. So let's say in this example here, you've got a UI that you want to appear in the world and you always want it to look at the player because say you might come into range of it and you want it to follow you around. We're going to look at the script to be able to do that, and you can do that with objects. You could do that to make your camera follow around a specific object, and I'll show you the core functionality and then you can take it away and do what you want with it. So if you do like the content that I show, be sure to come and join me on Discord, take a look at my fantastic assets on the Unity Asset Store, and come and support me on Patreon if you like the content, because it would really help me out. Okay, so what I've got here in my scene is I've got just a standard FPS controller, and what I've done is I've added some 3D text, which is using Text Mesh Pro. You could do this with any object, any 3D text, so you select 3D object and choose text. For Text Mesh Pro, you might need to bring in the essentials if you don't already have that in your project, but now we just get a bunch of text. I will remove my script that I've got on it, and then you can customize this as you want. I've just added this as a follow me. I've got a set thing. I've put a quick outline on it and just set that to black. But remember, make sure your pivot is always on the center of the text, because if you have the pivot sort of in this corner, if you've scaled down these boundings here and you can see the pivot moves, it will affect how your object actually rotates when it follows your player. So once that's done, we can create a script, and I'm just going to call this script something slightly different to what the one I've already got in my project. So I'm just going to call this lookat player, and then we'll open up in Visual Studio. So what we can do is we can get rid of the start method. We can just say, we can create a new variable at the top in square brackets, serialized field, and we'll say private transform with a capital, and we'll have this as our target. So we're going to, if we're going to apply this to our text, it's going to transform and it's going to look at the target, which will be our player. We need to do it in the update method because we're going to update it all of the time. You could create this in a trigger event. So if you did on trigger stay or on trigger enter, then set a boolean to make it only happen when you were close enough to it, let's say, or on a raycast. That's something that you could do later on, but this is just a core basic example. So in your update method, you could say transform dot lookat with 2 capitals for each word, and then in brackets you can add the target and you can put a semicolon. So that's pretty much the be all and end all of doing it. You do transform.lookat and then the target that we're going to specify. We'll go back into Unity, we'll go onto our text. I'm just going to collapse the text from here and collapse the material. I'm going to add lookat player and add that there. We'll be looking for a target. We can just add our FPS controller or whatever target that you want something to look at. We can hit play, but in this case you can see that it looks like it's following us around, but it's rotated the wrong way. It's almost upside down or reversed. So what we can do to fix that issue in most cases is if we create a rotate after it. So what we can do is we can write in square brackets serialized field, we'll do private integer, then I'll call this x, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and we're just going to call this x, y, and z, because these are the axes that we can possibly rotate the actual object around. Now underneath here we want to do the rotation after following the player, so then we can say transform dot rotate, and that's got to be the capital, and then we can put in brackets, it's going to look for a vector 3, which is x, y, and z, so we can put x, y, and z, because these are the things that we specified, because we're going to specify them in the inspector without us having to hard code it into script. We can minimize our script again, go back into Unity and it refreshes, and in this case we need to set the y value to 180. And how I know that on the y value is if we go to the y-axis and we rotate that just to the left, you can see that it goes the same way as what happened, and you can see that it'll be 80 degrees, 180 degrees on the y-axis. So if we just rotate it back around 180 degrees, we'll take it to 360, or you could do a minus amount and we'll just rotate it in front of the player again. Press play, and you can see that now this text, no matter where I go, if I jump or get really close to it, it will try and follow my player around, and you can obviously, like I said, have a trigger event to when you get close enough to it or further away, this will disappear, and you don't have to be using the update function to keep on rendering it and keep on moving the actual object itself, you can do it as you need to. So this was just the basic way to do it. So I hope this helped you out. Be sure to come and join me on Discord. Let me know what you think of the video. Check out my great assets on the Unity store and come and support me on Patreon if you really like the channel, because it would really help me out. So thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Cheers.